This is probably the most hypocritical company we've seen.
We are the driving force behind any data and any aggregation in sport.
A lot of it is coming from gambling addicts in markets where it's illegal.
You estimate that the sports betting market is anticipated to expand from $1 billion in 2019 to $23 billion at what you call maturity.
Well, in our prediction, it's 10 years at maturity, so that's a $23 billion. Of course, there is a lot of business in there for all the big brands doing sports betting.
Now I know it's the Super Bowl and all, but everyone gets a free bet?
We estimate between 20 and 40% of Sportradar's revenue is tied specifically to illegal gaming.
At best, that's a way for gambling addicts to lose money, and at worst, it's a way for them to lose money to match fixers.
These kids have the casino in their pocket.
Worried they would be arrested on landing. None of the illegal behavior is hidden in a back room.
You're in some ways the SEC for gambling.
Well, the SEC or the FBI or the CIA.
Well, we don't want that.
That's the part that is really disturbing about what they do. They portray themselves as, quote, the FBI of online sports betting, and the reality of kind of being your on the corner, like rock slinging drug dealer. It's so out in the open that the industry is dependent on illegal gaming.
Carson, you're publicly traded. Are you happy with the way that the public market is valuing Sportradar?
Sportradar is a company that provides the back end to online gaming operators. It's odds, scores, intra-game data. Sportradar has purchased the exclusive data rights from some of the major sports leagues in the world.
They package that up and they sign licensing deals with betting platforms that helps the back end. The top tier is the most widely watched sports on the planet. Major League Baseball, Bundesliga soccer, pretty down the middle stuff that people bet on. The second tier is also professional sports. It might be the PGA Tour, maybe it's NHL hockey or something. Tier 3 is semi-pro. You really have to question why someone is betting on these kind of slightly more obscure or lower league games. Then there's Tier 4, that would be women's ping pong in Poland.
The thing that they've done that's really insidious is they've created a market from Tier 3, Tier 4 sporting events. The betting on those top two tiers does not justify the cost, and that's why it's dependent on minor league, semi-pro matches, and even youth sports
Just 16 years old.
that we consider to be tiers 3 and 4. I think it's intentional that they're courting these illegal gaming operators. That's a feature, not a bug.
Oh, look, here's something crazy. Here's, it's Polish ping pong. Or here's a darts match. Here's futsal out of Brazil. Can you name any pro ping pong players? Can you name any pro ping pong leagues? No.
During COVID, when there were table tennis tournaments in Central Europe, people would watch those and bet on those.
And things like two guys playing FIFA or darts or tennis in a hotel in Egypt, that stuff all has a serious value for the business. And operators understand that. So while they may pay lower prices for it, I think the volume of it takes to that, it makes a huge difference to Sportradar's bottom line because they pay so much at the top end. They can't have clawed back everything that they paid for the ATP. I don't think they clawed back everything they paid for the NBA.
There's not enough cash if you only service the legal market. The revenues that are made on these tier 3 and 4 leagues is structurally higher margin. The cost to serve that is much lower. You don't have to go and pay a large sports organization for the data. You have a scout that you send to a game that is very low cost. Sportradar directly benefits from increased turnover at illegal gambling platforms because they are taking a percentage of that revenue. So we feel these illegal or grey operators is a core part of the profitability of these markets.
They all need our data and they all need our algorithms. So this is something which we see very, very positive.
That data is all packaged up and sold to the same people who buy some of the top tier data.
You need data for the sports books. You need the odds, you need the live data, especially because a lot of this is in-play betting. Who's going to score the next basket? Who's going to win the next point? You need to have instantaneous data provided.
Ping pong is so important to Radar right now that they invested into this AI and audiovisual input type equipment in order to collect the data.
Sportradar discloses that it has approximately 800 customers. If a given operator is just too obviously dodgy, well, that operator can just deal with a reseller of Sportradar's data, which would give Sportradar the plausible deniability of, gee, how could we know?
The Arbo Group operate what's kind of widely known as these pig butchering, human slavery type businesses. And that's where a lot of Sportradar's data is ending up.
The most terrible aspect of the entire thing was learning about these call centers that are being run for various operators in Cambodia.
Gambling is illegal for Cambodians, but 11 years ago, the government began to license a swathe of casinos aimed at Chinese tourists.
I was shocked by what I was hearing back from our team that went to the big trade show, ICE, in Barcelona.
ICE stands for International Casino Exhibition. If you ever walked into a casino and you listen to that buzz and noise, this is like that magnified by 10.
The interesting thing about ICE is that none of the illegal behavior is hidden in a back room. So when we sent investigators to the ICE at Barcelona, we were told by the sales representative from Sportradar that the Arbo Group were not present because they were worried they were going to be arrested on landing for a range of crimes from human trafficking to money laundering.
We were welcomed into every stand.
Everybody's openly willing to embrace us, and we're targeting markets like Vietnam, Indonesia, China, where gambling is plainly illegal.
Support Saba as well. They support everyone. Everyone has to go with us because we have the data. We've got the odds, we've got the markets. Like SBO bet, for example. And in the B2B space in Asia, you've got 10, 12 brands, and we work with 8 of them.
The fact that Sportradar continued having the conversation and offered to make introductions to me, you no longer have plausible deniability. I think it's intentional.
We were introduced to TitanNet by Sportradar's salesman. We were introduced to them in part because it could be very fast, in part also because they don't require a license.
As you know, in Asia, they don't need any license to proceed with the online casino. So everything is great. So you don't need a license to proceed as long as you get a site, you get the member website.
Sportradar did not object to this and in fact introduced us to a number of intermediaries.
Sportradar coming into Asia, not using the name of Sportradar, it will come into legal issue if they do it.
I believe that management knows that a significant portion of the business exists or is derived from illegal gambling.
And that's where a lot of Sportradar's data is ending up.
188bet is one of these Chinese and Asian companies which is particularly interesting. First, it's a disclosed customer of Sportradar's. 188bet and Stake were disclosed officially as being customers. 188bet ultimately rebranding itself as TapTap. It specifically focused on Southeast Asia and Indonesia in particular. Indonesia also is very firmly against online gambling. It is a Muslim country, after all.
Because Sportradar, they have some restriction like they can't do in the Asia with the Sportradar name because they are licensed. So in Asia market, they are using another name.
And which name is that? Lucky? Or which names?
Lucky is one of it. In more famous in India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. Then for others, they have label as well. They have few names. So this is how Sportradar works, I don't know, but we already integrated all the Sportradar's product in Asia. It's actually the same thing, just that in different logo, but still Sportradar, you can know it.
Sportradar's management was asked by the Josimar journalists whether or not 1xBet was a customer and refused to answer. Curiously, they said that 8xBet was not a customer, and we firmly believe that to be a lie because we could find the 32-character widget loader client ID on 8xBet's website. We like those as indicators of a direct client relationship because they're very much that type of a handshake.
We're quite confident that the connections to a number of these illegal operators are intentional because we've seen a number of them in the code for one of the widgets that provides the match data. Like I would struggle to understand how that's accidental.
Really, you're filling a gap for gambling addicts between major sporting events in order to keep someone hooked. These random number generator virtual games are just a new twist on trying to keep someone hooked online at all hours.
COVID basically created this amazing natural experiment for us to see the willingness of people to migrate into these lower level leagues and to bet on anything that they could actually bet on.
This is just the creation of product purely for there to be betting. Like there should be no illusion here that this has anything to do with like enhancing sport. We believe that revenue is absolutely essential to Sportradar's profitability.
But there is still a lot of money that comes in for Sportradar, in my opinion. That isn't from territories where gambling isn't necessarily 100% legal, probably 20% non-regulated. We're talking about like how much gray and black markets were for Radar. And I think you said it was about that number, 40, 45, or just under 50%. Yeah. And is that across the whole company, do you think? Like all of the customers you guys were calling on? Yeah, because all the East, like Asia, and like Turkey, and Mexico, like there are some operators that don't have a license. They can just have the Malta or the Curacao license, and they will be able to operate. So licenses is less than half.
Ultimately, I think the buck stops with the CEO, Carsten Core.
Carl is a guy who's very good at talking out of both sides of his mouth. He totally disparages anybody who's operating in gray and black markets as being totally irresponsible. At the same time, their year-end presentation for 2022 features their rapid growth in India, which is an illegal market.
We think Sportradar is so dependent on illegal gambling that if you took away just half of the revenue that it receives from illegal gambling, that it would go from being a profitable company to an unprofitable company instantly. We do not believe that Sportradar can be profitable from betting on tiers 1 and 2 alone. Muddy Waters is short Sportradar because this is probably the most hypocritical company we've seen in the entire 16 years we've been shorting problematic companies. It claims to be a guardian of integrity of sport, and in reality, they're actually causing gambling and match fixing to metastasize throughout sport. It's so open and it's so blatant.